Dexter Morgan has a few new serial killer friends this season, and we already learned what happened to Lowell. If you've seen episode 4 was an absolute banger of an episode. So spoilers ahead if you're not caught up, but Dexter did kill Lowell, aka the tattoo collector. And will the rest of his new friends have the same fate as him? Let's talk about it. I'm Pamela, welcome back to the channel. In case you're new here, we are covering all things Dexter throughout the season of Resurrection, so please subscribe to the channel because you won't want to miss out. We do weekly episode recaps and reviews, as well as some theories and discussions throughout the week. So as we all know, Dexter is infiltrating this group, Leon Prader's group of serial killers, and his plan is to pick them off one by one. And I think it's safe to assume that he will be successful in this, at least for the most part. So when it comes to most of them, I do think he will kill the rest of them, but I'm not so sure about Lady Vengeance. And will the same thing happen for Leon Prader and Charlie as well? So I do think he's going to kill Al, aka Rapunzel, and Gareth, aka the Gemini Killer, who we didn't learn a lot about in episode 4, so I am intrigued by him, and I cannot wait to find out more. Lady Vengeance, we know that she follows a similar code to Dexter, which I was hoping with a name like Lady Vengeance that she would follow a similar code, and I am absolutely loving Dexter and Mia's chemistry so far. He is intrigued by her as well, and I'm hoping that they can become friends, maybe more than friends, and I hope that eventually he feels comfortable enough with her to open up and be honest about his identity. So I do hope that he spares her and she survives. But I specifically want to talk about Charlie and Prader. Will Dexter end up killing them? And more importantly, will they find out his true identity, which obviously would cause major issues for Dexter? So with Prader, I'm wondering if Dexter would even kill him because he's technically not a serial killer. Yes, he is obsessed with serial killers and he sort of collects them, but he does not do any killings himself as far as we know. He said so himself. Dexter asked him in episode 4 and he was like, no, I don't have the same creativity as you guys. And I also wouldn't say that he is like responsible for some of these murders at all because these killers would be killing without him. So I wouldn't even say he's responsible in any way. Charlie, on the other hand, is a killer. We saw her kill Keith, aka the Canton Clubber, and I'm sure that is not her first kill, so she is a serial killer as well, even if she's not this sort of like methodical, creepy killer, because she does kind of seem to be creeped out by some of these killers. Like when she found Red's trophies, she called him a psycho, and then when Dexter brought the trophy to Prader's mansion and she saw the trophy, she seemed to be kind of disgusted by it. So yeah, she is a killer also, but I wouldn't necessarily classify her as the same sort of killer as like the Dark Passenger, the Gemini Killer, etc. But she definitely fits into Dexter's code. But I do think that she could be the one to find out Dexter's true identity because she is smart, she's on top of things. And a couple things that I thought were interesting in episode 4, which I did point out in my full recap and review, which if you haven't seen, please go check it out. But when Charlie picks up Dexter, who she thinks is Ronald Schmidt, when she picks him up in Central Park, and he says, "Call me Red," she gives this interesting sort of look, like she kind of raises an eyebrow, like she's a little suspicious of him. Maybe she's already kind of onto him and knows that he's lying. I don't know if she knows at this point, but she very well could find out because she does also say in the car to him, "It took me 3 weeks to find you, but I have my ways." So she has resources. She is former special ops and she could very well figure him out. And something I think is interesting, in one of the trailers that we got for what to expect on this season, they show us a quick clip of her pointing a gun at Harrison. What other reason could she find Harrison other than if she figures out who Dexter really is? I've said in a past video, like maybe she will be watching Dexter from afar before she figures out his identity, just watching him, and sees Batista watching Dexter and looks into Batista and finds out all about the Bay Harbor Butcher stuff. And that is how she makes her way to Harrison. That's going to be interesting to see what reason she's with Harrison pointing a gun at him. So that is one of few reasons why I think that she could be the one to figure out Dexter. And if that's the case, he's gonna have to kill her. Because not only is she a killer herself, but the #1 rule is don't get caught. And we also get a quick clip in that same trailer, I believe. Dexter's in a car talking to someone who we don't see who it is, but Dexter says, if I am who you say I am, this won't end well for you. So he could be talking to Charley. Maybe she tracks him down one night, gets into his car, like sort of forces herself into his car and confronts him in private. And he would say to her, if I'm who you say I am, the Bay Harbor Butcher, this won't end well for you because you're a killer. I'm gonna kill you. So if Charley finds out Dexter's real identity, it's safe to assume that Prader will also find out because she's his head of security. But I wonder if he would kill Prader, because like I said, he's technically not a killer, but also he might not even fit into rule #1 of not getting caught because he is a billionaire. He is a well-known, high-profile person. So I think he would keep his mouth shut. He's not going to go blabbing Dexter's secret because then this would turn him in and the world would know that he is like this sick collector of serial killers. So I don't know. Also, when Dexter went to the mansion and used the thumbprint, obviously it wasn't working at first and Charley was a little suspicious. But then of course he does gain entry, so like maybe that quieted down her suspicions. But someone in my comment section, I can't remember who, so I apologize, but if it was you, shout out to you. Someone said, what if she gets his DNA, Dexter's DNA, from his hat? Because remember, before they entered the mansion, she took his hat and at the end she gave it back to him. So what if she, after the thumbprint didn't work at first, she had her suspicions, she's very intelligent, and when she took the hat, she was like, you know what, let me grab a strand of hair and test it for DNA. And maybe that's how she finds out his real identity. I don't know, there's so many possibilities. I am so excited. Let me know your thoughts down below, leave a comment. How are you liking this season so far? I think it's absolutely incredible. Literally every episode gets better and better. And episode 4 was not only the best episode of this season so far, but it's gotta be one of the best episodes of the entire franchise. I mean, it was incredible. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time. So many good moments, which we do talk about in my full recap, episode 4 breakdown, if you want to go check it out. It will be linked down below in the description. They are absolutely killing it this season, pun intended. And I have high hopes for the rest of the season. I hope that they can keep the momentum going. But that is it for today. Do you think the rest of the serial killers are going to have the same fate as the tattoo collector? Do you think he's also going to kill Prader and Charley? Is Charley going to be the one to discover Dexter? Let me know what you think. Give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss out on future Dexter videos. And I will see you guys next time.